Alright, what is up, boys? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and your boy is back with another trade recap on today's trade. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started on this trade recap. So first things first, right? I always look at gold. I want to see what gold's up to. Obviously, gold is just consolidating. 200 EMA just slapped in the middle. Decided to, I'm like, alright, you know what? We're just gonna consolidate, but we did end up dumping right here at 850. But either way, I was not even bothering to trade gold. Alright, now let's go to NQ. Now NQ did create some opportunities, alright? So as you guys know, we have been very bearish overall. On the 1 hour, we're bearish. Everything is basically just bearish, right? So we have this new week opening gap that we have to fill. Well, we don't have to, but it can get filled anytime. It can get filled today, it can get filled tomorrow, it can get filled in any month, right? So this gap actually ended up getting filled today, right? So obviously I was looking for some shorts. I wanted to see what it would do once it bounced off of this Asia low. And so let me just take this off real quick and let me just focus on this Asia low. Alright, so now I go to the 1 minute. Okay, the 1 minute have a good rejection back up to the upside. I was gonna take a counter trend setup, but I was like, you know what? Nah, I want to see a good retracement back up, and to see, what we can. Like, I wanted to see a good retracement back up to this entry, and then I would have taken it. We didn't get any entries right here, so I decided to just, leave it alone. But I did want to take this candle for sales. Alright, because I was like, you know what? I'm taking a counter trend setup. I'm not gonna take it for buys. I'm gonna take this for sales because I want to target this new week opening gap. Right here. Let me mark this up real quick. I wanted to target this whole gap. Right. I did not take this trade because I was like, bro, you know what? I want to wait for retracement, at least to fill in this little gap right here. It didn't do that. It didn't give me the retracement that I wanted, and obviously it played out for literally the whole gap for a 104 RR. For a 104 RR, it played out. So I was like, alright, you know what? I missed out on this trade. Decided not to take it because either way, it was at 8:38, so it was like 10 minutes or 8 minutes into the market open. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna take this. Okay, I wanted to be a lot more safer. And I was like, all right, you know what? We created a 5 minute supply zone right here, right? We created this 5 minute supply zone that basically retraces back to the to the Asian low, right? So I was like, all right, you know what? I just want to wait for a tap and then a breakout candle to the downside. The only bad part was is that we had a 1 minute supply zone right here that did ended up getting respected. I did not take the 1 minute supply zone because I was like, you know what? I don't really like trading 1 minute supply in demand on the 1 minute. I'd rather take these off of the 5 or have my zones on the 5 and enter off of the 1 minute, right? So if I would have entered this for a breakout candle to the downside, this also played out for a 1 to 4 RR. And I was like, all right, you know what? That's two setups that I missed. I'm like, okay, it is what it is. We already filled in this gap. There's nothing for me to actually take no more. So I was like, all right, you know what? It's fine. I go to ES. I'm like, all right, ES is pretty far from the new opening gap, right? We did also fill in the weak opening gap on ES, and yeah. Now ES didn't have any setups like how NQ did, right? We didn't have any setups right here. We did have this setup that I did actually take, and I got stopped out at break even. Okay, so I ended up taking this trade right here, but other than that, I didn't see any trades all the way up here, unless you took this trade at 839. But either way, there was like no confluence for me to take that trade at 839. Like, nah, like I didn't really like that trade. Okay, but let's go ahead and go to this trade. So this trade was that 1 minute supply zone. And I told you guys, I was like, you know what? I don't like trading supply and demand on the 1 minute. I'd rather have my zones on the 5 minute. But I was like, you know what? I've seen these supply and demand zones work out perfectly on the 1 minute. I am gonna take a chance on this and take this trade. All right. I ended up being $100 in profit. I was not close. I wasn't even close to a 101 RR. Right. So I was like, all right, 7 point stop loss. Entered with four contracts. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go for that 102 RR. Did not tap my 101. I decided to go break even because NQ had taken out that low, which was this one right here. Okay, we took out this low, so I was like, all right, you know what? NQ took out that low. It may reverse. It may reverse. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go break even, which it gave me a bullish candle to the upside, and I got stopped out at break even. All right, I got stopped out at break even, and then all of a sudden, this shit just keeps going lower and lower for a 1 to 5 RR. And I'm like, all right, you know what? The only trade that I actually decided to take a chance on got stopped out at break even, and then it goes my way. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm done. Like, I'm not gonna force another trade. This is the only last trade that I actually saw and that I liked, and it played through, but I got stopped out at break even. But yeah, that's basically my trade recaps for today. Um, Sucks to suck that I got stopped out at break even. But yeah, boys, that's gonna be it for this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and go make sure to go join the Discord. I do be on the calls there. Oh, sorry, I do be on calls there, so make sure to join that. And yeah, boys. Other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.